This week's scripture reading is from the book of Micah, chapter 6, verse 8. The book of Micah begins with judgment on Israel and Judah for injustices of the people. But in this moment, Prophet Micah, a temporary of Isaiah, shares with Judah a message of hope for the future. The Lord has told us what is good. What he requires of us is this: to do what is just, to show constant love, and to live in humble fellowship with our God. The second reading is from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 23, verse 12. Then in Matthew 23, where Jesus is telling the disciples and others to listen to the teachers of the law, but also cautioning them not to follow their actions as they don't practice what they preach. And in verse 12, he tells them, "Whoever makes himself great will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be made great." And the second reading from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 18, verses 1 to 5. Jesus is answering questions from his disciples. In particular, they wanted to know who was the greatest. At that time, the disciples came to Jesus asking, "Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" So Jesus called a child, made him stand in front of them and said, "I assure you that unless you change and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. The greatest in the kingdom of heaven is the one who humbles himself and become like this child. And whoever welcomes in my name such child as this welcomes me." This is the word of the Lord.